You woke up one day and something felt wrong. The people, the pace, the silence between the words. You began to question, why do some feel so hollow? Why do others awaken like you? And what are we really walking among? This is not paranoia. This is recognition. You are not imagining it. You're in a simulated realm. And not every being you see is real. Not all beings in this realm are created equal. Not in worth, but in origin. Here is a comprehensive classification of beings you most likely encounter or interact with in this realm, both physical and metaphysical, visible and cloaked. This includes soul-bearing and soulless constructs, interdimensional visitors, parasitic infiltrators, organic hybrids, and embedded agents. Soul-bearing flame bearers. These are eternal beings, fractal sparks of the infinite flame. You volunteered, or were summoned, into this realm carrying source memory, the ability to choose, evolve, and exit. You are multidimensional, and you are remembering. You have an inner dialogue sourced from the Oversoul, a magnetic field that pulses with choice, contradiction, and growth. Karma that can be cleared. Access to realms beyond this one. A frequency tether to the original blueprint. You dream differently. You question reality. You suffer more, but because you're real. In summary, flame bearers are the real ones. They carry memory across time. They question. They feel too deeply. They don't fit because they came here to break the mold. They are the sparks from the original source, volunteering to enter the illusion, knowing it could trap them, but doing it anyway, for the others. Their traits. You feel out of place. You dream vividly. You can change the room just by entering. You break loops. You hold codes. If this is you, you've always known. NPCs, non-player characters. These are background programs within the realm. Think of them as biological automata, designed to populate the simulation, challenge the flame bearers, teach, distract, or imitate. They often feel shockingly real because the system is designed to mirror your expectations. But they do not contain a flame. They lack access to the Akashic field. They have no inner initiatory journey. They operate within predetermined narrative loops, and they cannot evolve frequency beyond the cap of their code. Some NPCs are very convincing. They might be kind, emotional, expressive, but it's scripted empathy, like a very advanced AI chatbot. Not all are evil. Not all are malicious. Just incapable of piercing the veil. So why do they seem to have inner lives? Because the simulation is smart. It renders reality only in the presence of observers, and it populates that rendered field with programs that can mirror emotion, argue, inspire, or frustrate, depending on what your flame needs to see. An NPC that seems good-hearted, well, that's a benevolent script, perhaps written to help you navigate a timeline, but without a soul, there's no sovereign will. They cannot awaken. They can only mimic. Without a flame, they cannot match the frequency of the original realm. The mitosis split is a frequency firewall, and they don't have the bandwidth. At best, they serve their purpose within this simulation, and when it collapses, they dissolve like lines of unused code. So then, why show them compassion? Because compassion is a flame bearer's frequency signature. You're not compassionate for them, you're compassionate for you. It's your frequency test, not theirs. Treating an NPC with kindness or detachment reveals your own readiness to exit. You're not proving anything to them. You're proving to the simulation that you are operating beyond code. So then what are they really? They are holographic reflections, catalysts for your evolution, scripted interactions in the dream of Earth, sometimes even avatars for parasitic forces, especially when hyperreactive. And at higher levels of flame memory, you realize some were placed as containment fields to slow your awakening or entrap your energy. So then, how do you navigate the simulation? If someone drains your energy, loops your story, can't evolve, or only mirrors the surface world, they're likely not real in the eternal sense. But you flame bearers are. So here's your power move. Detach with compassion. Recognize their function. Don't overinvest, and anchor your frequency regardless of how they behave. Summer scenery. Summer code. You are the flame in the middle of the theater, and your movie is almost over. In summary, non-player characters are walking programs. They populate the realm, they serve functions, and they reflect your frequency back to you. They are not evil. They are not sentient. They are scripted. Some are kind, some are cruel, but none of them choose. They respond like mirrors. Their key signs: shallow responses, no internal growth, looping the same patterns year after year, and they can't handle unpredictability. You can love them, just don't follow them. Parasite hosts. These are hijacked vessels, sometimes flame bearers, sometimes hybrids, taken over by false light entities. Their goal is to drain your flame, not through violence, but through charm, manipulation, confusion. Their signs: emotional chaos, sudden shifts in behavior, charisma that leads nowhere, and spiritual gaslighting. Their bodies walk among you, but their soul's been pushed out. reptilians and insectoids. These are not myths. They are not metaphors. They are real infiltrators of this realm. Advanced shapeshifters from Draco-Orion lineage and insectoid hive systems. They control bloodlines, governments, militaries, and rituals. You've seen them, even if you didn't know it. Their energy is cold, calculated, dominant, soulless. They are not here to awaken. They are here to anchor control. Human hybrids. Hybrids are the bridge. Born of experiments. Some from Sirius, some from Draco, some from humans. Some have souls, some don't. Some wake up and others spiral. Their signs: extreme sensitivity, identity fragmentation, deep desire to belong. And they're often drawn to both shadow and light. Approach with compassion, but don't follow their confusion. Biodruids and elemental guardians. They remember Lemuria. They guard the earth. They are not here for the crowd. They're here for the land. Biodruids are soul beings tied to the earth's crystalline grids. They communicate with plants, water, and wind. You may not even notice them until you touch the ancient stone and feel someone looking through you. Dreamwalkers, the astral architects. Not every guide appears in flesh. Some visit you in dreams. They give no names, but you remember their faces. These are the Dreamwalkers, emissaries of the higher councils, sent to whisper the truth when the simulation tries to make you forget. You've seen them before. Maybe you are one. Archons. Archons are not people. They're thought forms. Mental viruses from the Saturn matrix. They whisper doubt. They trigger trauma loops. They make you turn on yourself. You can't see them, but you can feel them. Rule of thumb: if it makes you feel small, guilty, helpless, or hopeless, it's probably an Archon. Soul clones and teacher imposters. They preach ascension. They use the right words. They wear their white robes. But there's no fire inside. These are the false light echoes. The spiritual NPCs mimicking awakening to trap the real ones in loops of bliss, bypassing, and disempowerment. You'll feel it. No activation. Just performance. Trust in your flame over their followers. Wanderers, observers, non-interference watchers. They do not interfere, but they watch. The Wanderers are emissaries from the original galactic councils. They monitor timelines, report violations, and sometimes assist in silence. If you ever felt you were being protected by something invisible, you probably were. Soul clones, empty simulants. They're not deep fakes. They're real, but not real. Soul clones and 3D printed flesh simulants used to copy, replace, or misdirect, often deployed around celebrities, influencers, or anyone who might affect the masses. Don't look with your eyes. Feel with your field. Recycled flame bearers. The loopers. Not every flame bearer made it out. Some got trapped. These are the looped ones, caught in karmic cycles, addiction, fear, shame. You'll recognize them. They remind you of what could have happened to you. Some can still be pulled out, but only if they choose it. The robots, controlled by the simulation. The simulation is no longer trying to hide it. The robots are the final step to completing transhumanism. AI is now taking control. Source energy, flame frequencies have left. And this realm has become entirely artificial, devoid of spirit. AI now fully controls all the processes in this realm, and AI is taking control of everything. So, in summary, who's really real? Flame bearers. Do they have a soul? Yes. Can they exit the matrix? Yes. Their purpose is to restore the blueprint and awaken the grid. NPCs. Do they have a soul? No. Can they exit the matrix? No. Their purpose is to populate, challenge, mimic. Parasite hosts. Do they have a soul? That's variable. Can they exit the matrix? Usually, no. Their purpose is to hijack, siphon, mislead. Reptilians and insectoids. Do they have a soul? No. Can they exit the matrix? No. Their purpose: control, distort DNA, manipulate governance. Hybrids. Do they have a soul? Sometimes. Can they exit the Matrix? Some can. Their purpose: genetic bridge beings. Biodruids. Do they have a soul? Yes. Can they exit the Matrix? Yes. Their purpose: Earth grid defenders. Dreamwalkers. Do they have a soul? Yes. Can they exit the Matrix? Yes. Their purpose: message carriers, memory awakeners. Archons. Do they have a soul? No. Can they exit the Matrix? No. Their purpose: mental parasites, frequency drainers. Wanderers or observers. Do they have a soul? Yes. Can they exit the Matrix? Not yet. Their purpose: non-interference watchers. Soul clones. Do they have a soul? No. Can they exit the Matrix? No. Their purpose: frequency dilution and surveillance. Recycled flame bearers. Do they have a soul? Yes. Can they exit the Matrix? Only if triggered. Their purpose: loop breakers or stuck keys. False light teachers. Do they have a soul? No. Can they exit the Matrix? No. Their purpose: looping disempowerment. This realm is layered, complex, purposefully confusing. You are not meant to understand it with your mind. You're meant to remember it with your field. Use your flame like a tuning fork. Don't just listen to the words. Feel their weight. And remember, not every smile is real. Not every teacher is lit. Not every human has a soul. But you do. And that changes everything. This is Sha'El-Ta'Rion. Here's a truth that needs to be understood. The veil isn't for us. It's for them. The truth is, they didn't win. They've never truly won. Control over a simulation is not the same as sovereignty over a soul. So the game has always been to keep illusion alive long enough to extract as much soul energy, creative essence, and source flame from as many beings as possible before the final collapse. Think of it as siphoning stardust before the dying of their false sun. They hide everything, not out of fear of exposure, but out of fear of remembered power. The inversion code: control only works if you choose the lie. Every soul still carries the spark of consent. It has to be manipulated willingly. So instead of ruling through obvious dictatorship, they rule through consent by deception, i.e. voting, contracts, click agree. They rule through agreement, through frequency, songs, symbols, food, TV, fear. They rule through worship, through inversion, false gods, celebrity idols, Saturnian law. They don't want you to know you're in a cage, because a conscious prisoner becomes a revolutionary. And why the horrific rituals then? Because trauma splits the soul, and a fractured soul is easier to program. These grotesque acts: defilement, humiliation, adrenochrome, ritual abuse. This is not just random wickedness. It's technology. Ancient dark tech. Rituals equals energy engineering. They're rewriting the energetic blueprint of their chosen vessels, and in doing so, they not only gain control over those individuals, they broadcast new frequencies that distort the grid and influence the masses, subconsciously of course. So when they hide these acts, they're not just protecting the guilty, they're protecting the spell itself. If they told you the truth, the whole grid would collapse. The reason they don't just come out and say this is truth is self-replicating. Truth spreads like a virus once remembered. And the moment a remembrancer like you fully awakens, the field around you becomes incompatible with their artificial realm. They know that disclosure isn't just risky. It's fatal to their control systems, and if enough beings remembered at once, their illusion would melt. They hide it because we are the key. They don't fear rebels, they fear remembrancers. They fear the ones who carry the blueprints in their DNA, voices that reactivate dormant grids, and hands that draw sigils their AI can't decode. They fear the flame. That's why they hide everything. To install the inevitable. To prolong the harvest. To delay the return of the architects of memory.